15. Elixir, Joshua Foley. Joshua Foley is a powerful healer and a former member of the New Mutants. His Omega-level power is biokinesis, meaning he can control living cells down to the smallest level. Healing wounds, curing diseases, restarting organs, shutting them down, breaking them, fixing them again. The human body is basically a settings menu to him. The moment that proves Elixir belongs on this list is Krakoa's resurrection system. He becomes one of the five, the mutants who literally turn death into a temporary problem. If a mutant dies, Elixir helps rebuild their body from scratch so their mind can be placed back inside. Elixir lands at number 15 not because he's weak, but because his power is specialized rather than explosive. 14. Hope Summers. Hope Summers doesn't win fights by herself. She wins them by making everyone else better. Her Omega-level power is power manipulation, which sounds sort of not a big thing until you realize what it actually means. Hope can amplify and sync the abilities of other mutants around her, and then use those powers herself with perfect control. Her biggest flex is also the 5 Krakoan resurrection protocols. Without Hope, mutant resurrection doesn't work at scale. She's the glue that holds that whole miracle together. Healing, reality shaping, time control, resurrection. Hope makes it all flow smoothly instead of blowing up in everyone's face. That's why she's terrifying. Put Hope in a room with heavy hitters, and suddenly they're all stronger, sharper, and more dangerous. It's like she hands out admin passwords to reality. A group project with Hope can save a species, or wipe one out, and that choice matters more than raw strength. 13. Kid Omega, Quentin Quire. Quentin Quire is an Omega-level telepath with enormous power and very little patience, which makes him just as dangerous to himself as he is to everyone else. His mind is massive. He can read thoughts, control them, shape psychic energy into physical weapons, and project his will across huge distances. And Marvel officially classifies him as one of the strongest telepaths on Earth. The moment that cements his spot is the riot at Xavier's storyline in New X-Men. Quentin gathers a group of powerful students, calls himself Kid Omega, and turns Xavier's school into chaos. Not because he's evil, but because he's angry, reckless, and convinced he's right. He even creates solid psychic constructs, including his famous pink psychic shotgun, which tells you everything about his personality. Quentin is dangerous not just because of power, but because he's young, impulsive, and emotional. Give someone like that unlimited mental reach, and eventually something breaks. Usually a lot of things. 12. Tarn the Uncaring. Tarn is what happens when biology becomes art, and the artist hates his enemies deeply. His Omega-level power lets him manipulate genetics directly, not just heal or hurt, but rewrite. His biggest flex is how casually he reshapes other mutants. Tarn is described as a genomic mage, able to sculpt bodies, alter abilities, and turn people into something new. Usually something worse. He doesn't blast you. He redesigns you. And once he's done, there's no undo button. That's what makes Tarn terrifying. He doesn't destroy enemies. He repurposes them. And he does it with precision, patience, and zero emotion. Fighting Tarn isn't about strength. It's about surviving long enough to still be yourself afterward. 11. Iceman, Bobby Drake. Bobby Drake spent years being treated like the joke of the X-Men, the guy who throws snowballs and makes ice slides. Then Marvel finally reminded everyone that temperature control with no limit is horrifying. Iceman is Omega level because his power doesn't cap out. Cold has no bottom. He can drop temperatures instantly, freeze environments, create ice constructs, and even rebuild his own body from moisture in the air. That alone makes him insanely hard to kill. His biggest oh wow moment is when he freezes hell itself in Amazing X-Men. Not slows it down, not contains it, but freezes it. He also helps terraform Mars, creating polar caps and stabilizing temperatures like a walking ice age. Bobby isn't dangerous because he's cruel. He's dangerous because if he ever stopped joking, things would get intense very fast, or should I say icy. 10. Magneto, Eric Lensher. Calling Magneto a guy who only bends metal is like calling the sun a light bulb. Magneto controls magnetism itself, and that includes electromagnetic fields, planetary forces, and everything metal touches. As an Omega-level mutant, Magneto's power has no limit, and his biggest flex proves it. During the terraforming of Mars, Magneto literally moves massive iron asteroids, helping form a planetary core and stabilize the planet's magnetic field. He helps build a world's heartbeat. That's not a fight, that's infrastructure. Magneto can tear armies apart, shut down weapons, and level cities. But the reason he's feared is scale. When he lets loose, the planet reacts. And unlike many Omega mutants, Magneto understands exactly what he's doing. That makes him more dangerous than raw power ever could. 9. Exodus Bene du Paris. Exodus is a 12th century French crusader who was a mutant with incredible psionic powers. Apocalypse forever changed him, further enhancing his Omega-level abilities before trapping him for centuries in a hidden crypt. Now Exodus has Omega-level telekinesis, along with his telepathy and ability to gain strength based on how many people believe in him. His Omega-level telekinesis gives him power, but what makes him terrifying is control. His biggest flex is one of the most unsettling feats in mutant history. After Professor X suffers catastrophic brain and skull damage, Exodus uses his telekinesis to perfectly reform Xavier's body. Not roughly, not barely alive, precisely. That level of fine control is rare. It means Exodus can lift mountains, sure, but he can also rearrange matter at a surgical level without error. He's a powerhouse who doesn't waste movement. Every action is deliberate. 8. Storm Ororo Munro. Back in her homeland of Kenya, people didn't see Ororo Munro as just a mutant. They worshipped her as a weather goddess, and honestly, it's easy to see why. Her Omega-level control over the weather lets her change entire ecosystems, not just summon a bit of rain on command. Storm isn't flipping switches. She's reshaping nature itself. She can create familiar weather like rain, snow, and wind, but she can also unleash things far more extreme. Firestorms, planet-splitting lightning strikes that hit with thousands of times more energy than a normal bolt. When Storm cuts loose, the sky doesn't just respond, it obeys. And that's not even the full picture. Storm is tied to an ancestral line of witches, giving her access to magic on top of her mutant abilities. She also carries what's known as the Godhead, a trait that lets her grow stronger the more people believe in her. In at least one alternate timeline, Storm even combined all of this, bending space itself to open a wormhole into another dimension. At that point, she's not just controlling the weather, she's rewriting what's possible. Her biggest flex is terraforming Mars. Storm is part of the Omega team that turns a dead planet into a living world. She helps create a breathable atmosphere and stable weather systems so life can survive there. 7. Isca the Unbeaten. Isca's mutant power is brutally simple. She cannot lose. That's it. No lasers. No reality warping. No fancy visuals. Just the universe bending itself to make sure she never takes an L. Genesis is her older sister, making Apocalypse her brother-in-law, and the first horsemen her nieces and nephews. Isca may be the strongest of her family. Her biggest flex comes during X of Swords, where her power forces outcomes to go her way again and again, including her clash tied to Captain Britain. If Isca is on your side, you're winning. If she's against you, you already lost. And the twist? If her side starts losing, her power forces her to switch sides. She doesn't choose victory. Victory chooses her. Power scaling breaks here, because you can't outthink, overpower, or outmaneuver someone who literally can't lose. Math doesn't work. Strategy doesn't work. Only avoidance does. 6. Vulcan Gabriel Summers. Gabriel Summers has the ability to manipulate energy on a psionic level, meaning he can absorb almost any kind of energy and redirect it however he wants. He can fire it back as devastating blasts, wrap himself in powerful force fields, or use it to launch himself through the air in flight. He inherited the same energy absorption abilities as his long-lost brothers, Cyclops and Havoc. His first massive flex is terraforming Mars, where he helps create the planet's molten core alongside Hope. That's planetary-scale engineering powered by raw mutant energy. His second flex is worse. During the events around War of Kings and Realm of Kings, Vulcan's actions are tied to the creation of the Fault, a massive tear in spacetime, a scar in reality itself. As Vulcan, Gabriel can do more than just throw raw energy around. He can manipulate the abilities of other mutants, suppressing or outright stealing their powers when he wants to. That alone puts him in a dangerous category, because fights don't stay fair for very long when Vulcan shows up. At the height of his power, he even took control of the Shi'ar Empire, overthrowing its leadership and claiming the throne through sheer force. 5. Monarch, Jamie Braddock. Jamie Braddock doesn't fight reality. He treats it like a toy. His Omega-level power lets him teleport, warp bodies into painful, horrifying shapes, or completely unleash chaos into the universe. The scary part isn't his power, it's his mindset. Jamie sees the world like a dream. Consequences feel optional to him, and if his mind were stable, he'd be unstoppable. As his powers grew, Jamie Braddock became one of Earth's most dangerous and unpredictable mutants. Monarch was eventually killed by his own siblings to protect the multiverse from his power. The Five on Krakoa brought him back, and he used his abilities to become the unstable ruler of Avalon 4. Mr. M. Absalon Mercator. Mr. M is the most broken but criminally underrated mutant in Marvel. Mr. M. If you've never heard of him, it's because he spends most of his time avoiding people, despite being so OP that he could snap his fingers and rewrite reality. His real name is Absalon Mercator. His power is molecular manipulation. That means he can rearrange atoms like Lego bricks, turn objects into something completely different, and even create life. As in, he can straight up make new living beings. On top of that, he can suppress other mutants' abilities, generate force fields, heal himself instantly, and evolve his own body. And not to mention his other powers. Telekinesis, machine manipulation, and intangibility, meaning he can move things with his mind, control technology, and phase through solid objects like a ghost. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Of course, drama finds him anyway. He saved mutants, fought off drug lords, and even survived getting shot in the head. After M-Day, when most mutants lost their powers, he didn't even flinch. His powers were too insane to be erased. Eventually, he dipped into the otherworld, created his own kingdom, and told the rest of the universe, "Y'all handle your own mess." Why isn't he ranked in the top 3? He's barely used in comics, so his feats are limited. But make no mistake, if Mr. M ever decides to stop chilling and go all out, he could turn the Marvel Universe inside out. 3. Proteus, Kevin McTaggart. If we're talking about mutants who break reality just by existing, then Proteus deserves a front row seat. Also known as Kevin McTaggart, unlike most mutants who just get cool powers, Proteus got stuck with god-tier abilities, but at a cost. His body burns out fast, meaning he constantly needs new host bodies to survive. What can he do? First off, reality warping is Proteus's most insane power. He can change reality itself as easily as flipping a switch. Imagine looking at the world 1 second, and in the next gravity flips, buildings melt, and the sky turns into fire. He doesn't just alter things, he completely rewrites how reality works, making the world around him unstable and unpredictable. But here's where things get even wilder. His body burns out fast, so he constantly needs new hosts to possess, using them up before moving on like some terrifying parasite. He uses pure psionic energy, meaning he can't truly be killed. He can only be dispersed for a while. Add in molecular manipulation, and now he can reshape matter however he wants, making things appear, disappear, or transform entirely. And just when you think that's enough, he's also got practical immortality. As long as there's a fresh body to jump into, Proteus is never truly gone. Simply put, he's an absolute menace, and the only thing keeping him from taking over is his never-ending need for new hosts. Bro went toe-to-toe with the Phoenix Force and survived. That alone should tell you he's a monster-level threat. But his major weakness? Metal messes him up, meaning Wolverine and Colossus are his worst nightmare. 2. Legion, David Haller. Ever heard of a dude with so many superpowers? Even his superpowers have superpowers. I'm speaking about Legion, the ultimate wildcard in the Marvel Universe. Legion, alias David Haller, is the son of Professor X, Charles Xavier. But instead of just inheriting Dad's telepathy, he rolled the dice and got every power imaginable. Thanks to his dissociative identity disorder, each of his multiple personalities wields a different, often ridiculously OP ability. Some of these personalities include Jack Wayne, Cindy, and Jay Karami. David's got telekinesis, pyrokinesis, time travel, reality warping, teleportation, energy projection, molecular manipulation, and that's just scratching the surface. He's literally more powerful than most Marvel gods. His time travel is next level. Bro once went back in time, accidentally killed his dad, Professor X, and triggered the entire Age of Apocalypse timeline. That's not even the worst of it. His multiversal power means he can literally rewrite entire realities just by existing. But it doesn't stop there. Legion's possession ability lets him control and manipulate other people's minds, turning them into his puppets. If that's not terrifying enough, his psionic energy manipulation means he can straight up destroy enemies with mental energy blasts. Then there's his reality folding, which allows one of his personalities to fold space and time, erasing attacks before they even land. Oh, and let's not forget molecular manipulation, meaning he can reshape matter on a fundamental level, altering reality at its core. So yeah, Legion is that guy. He doesn't just break the power scale, he is the power scale. If you think someone else is stronger, drop your thoughts in the comments below. 1. Jean Grey. Imagine waking up one day, realizing you can literally read minds, control people, boost other mutants' powers, and casually chat with animals. Sounds dope, right? Well, for Jean Grey, that was just the beginning. And fun fact, she didn't just unlock these powers, she nearly broke reality itself before even hitting puberty. Jean Grey wasn't just a powerful mutant, she was born and built different. Her powers manifested way too early when she witnessed her best friend die as a child. And instead of just feeling sad like a normal kid, her brain went Super Saiyan telepath mode, linking with her dying friend's mind and almost breaking reality in the process. It was so bad that Professor X had to step in and slap some psychic blocks on her mind just so she wouldn't accidentally implode existence before she learned how to control her abilities. Fast forward a few years, Jean joins the X-Men as Marvel Girl, rolls with the OG crew, and is already stacking L's on villains while still learning the ropes. But even then, she was next-level OP compared to most mutants. Jean Grey's mutant powers are basically cheat codes. She's got mind reading so sharp she can eavesdrop on thoughts. And if that's not creepy enough, she's got full-on mind control too. If Jean tells you to sit, stay, or start breakdancing in the middle of a battlefield, you're doing it whatsoever. She can rewrite your entire memory, erasing trauma, creating fake histories, or even boosting your intelligence if she feels generous. And let's not forget her astral projection skills. Jean can leave her body and zip through dimensions like she's Doctor Strange on a speed run. But the craziest thing is, she can power up other mutants, turning her teammates into walking nukes just by giving them a psychic boost. This is why she's Omega level. Later, the Phoenix Force, a cosmic entity that only picks the strongest beings in the universe, chose her as its host. Instantly, her powers skyrocketed to God tier, giving her control over life and death, reality itself, cosmic energy, and even immortality. But here's where it gets terrifying. The Hellfire Club messed with her mind, and she snapped, becoming Dark Phoenix. In this form, she devoured a star, wiped out an entire alien civilization, and became so powerful that she had to sacrifice herself just to stop her own destruction.